About Robert Redford, we have startling fresh material. Early 2024 saw the renowned actor not seen or heard from in some years. Though his publicist hasn't said anything about it, there are rumors he has major medical issues. Redford has lived to be 88 years old, thus his supporters should be concerned should these rumors be accurate. Still, Robert Redford is much sought for by viewers. Regarding him, what is happening? Should viewers be concerned? According to what I know, according to what we know, Augustine. Redford, born in Santa Monica, California. His parents were Charles Robert and Martha Woodruff Redford. His mother loved music. His father was a milkman who also handled oil company accounting. His family tree makes for fascinating reading. William, his paternal half-brother, resembles him much as he should. English Protestant Elisha Redford was his paternal great-grandfather. He wed Mary Ann McCree, an Irish Catholic, and they relocated to New York in 1849 and settled in Stonington, Connecticut. Charles, their son, was the first in the family to start a family. Redford's mother line is likewise fascinating. Galway provided the hearts. The Greens were Scots-Irish immigrants to the U.S. in the 18th century. Redford's father worked in El Segundo. His family lived in Vanish. In his Vanish community, Robert Redford was a nuisance. He grew up fighting with a street gang in his hometown most of his life. He participated in risky dares frequently. Once his gang challenged him to jump off a tall building to demonstrate his strength and loyalty. He nearly died. The lad wanted to demonstrate his manliness for once, thus he was not reluctant to try yet another challenge. He jumped without breaking any bones. Nevertheless, he was one step away from falling and injuring his spine. By pilfering goods and binge drinking too much, he kept stirring disturbance in the area. He was living the time of his life and only changed upon his jewelry theft arrest. Robert Redford visited high school in Van, New York, and ran across baseball pitcher John Dale. Though not closest friends, they were friends. Dale recalled that Robert was quite good in sports. Thus, he never mentioned he wanted to be an actor. Dale experimented in football, baseball, and tennis. Though fate had other ideas, he believed he'd come among the greatest baseball or football players of all time. As one could expect, Robert was not a good student. Actually, he was a poor student who felt he ought not to be in class. While his friends were motivated by great people and inventors, he discovered inspiration in sports and art. He played a lot of tennis. 1954 saw him enrolled in the Kappa Sigma fraternity and on a baseball scholarship at the University of Colorado following high school. He started drinking heavily in Colorado, but he worked well with his colleagues at a restaurant and bar called The Sink. To minimize the effects of the alcohol, he would head to his room and sip. For hours, he gazed at the ceiling, thinking weirdly until he began to have hallucinations. He left his university kicked. He was sacked from his job as a box boy in a supermarket. Then his dad hired him at Standard Oil, but he was sacked once more. A few times, Robert also got in legal hot water for breaking into people's homes to use their pools, but traveling into Europe exposed him to art, culture, and world events. Meeting Parisian students altered his perspective on life. Living with others, having meaningful talks, and all else about France presented challenges he loved. It was so strong that he felt guilty about not knowing much about American politics. He promised to do better when he got back to the U.S. a year and a half later, to be more concentrated on important concerns. Robert studied painting in Brooklyn's Pratt Institute, and later on he studied acting in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. He ran across his sweetheart Lola Van Wagen in Los Angeles when he returned to America that year, 1958. 1958 saw their marriage in a little ceremony held at Lola's grandmother's house. Their 5-month-old son, Scott, passed sudden infant death syndrome 1 year after they were married. Redford lost his composure, and he blamed himself for not checking on his baby earlier. Young and just beginning a career with meager pay, he believed he could run his new family on the money. His last emotional collapse came about in 1955 when his mother passed away from septicemia. He turned to acting to heal the loss since he was not taught how to communicate about his emotions. First appearing on Broadway in the comedy Tall Story, he later that same year debuted The Highest, starting in Little Moon of Albania with Julie Harris and co-starring in another humorous film with Conrad Janis. He was better known in the business by 1960. Redford worked on many more films before his major break. He took front stage in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park in 1963. He portrayed newlywed lawyer Paul B.R.D. in that film, who moves into a Greenwich Village house with his wife, Corey. Later on, he portrayed the outlaw, also known as Butch Cassidy in The Sundance Kid, giving the creators a run for their money. Robert Redford performed the Sundance Kid while Paul Newman portrayed Butch Cassidy. Watching both characters was entertaining, and they also grew close friends. Redford is a nice man who doesn't want to be cast in pretty boy roles all the time. Thus, there was one minor issue with the critically and commercially successful film. Concerned about the tone of his works, he avoided ones emphasizing his sex appeal. Both released in 1969, he performed brilliant in the sports drama Downhill Racer and the western Tell Them Wide Boy Is Here. A further significant movie for him was the 1972 political drama The Candidate. This proved he could fit into as many demanding roles as feasible, and his career shot off. Knowing what he wanted, he had already sank further into Hollywood. He purchased Utah land in the 1960s and added more over the years. His passion of the ground drove him into environmental activism. For opposing specific Utah developments, he even received death threats. Yet, he persisted. This man takes both roles rather seriously, since he thinks that nature and art help to make the world a better place. For Redford, 1973 was fantastic. Having two strong hits, The Way We Were and The Sting, The Way We Were, starred opposite Barbara Strand in a drama on the ups and downs of a couple's marriage. In The Sting, he teamed with Newman to portray 1930s Chicago con artists. His first of the decade, the film was so popular that it got him nominated for an Academy Award. He later had other triumphs working with Mia Farrow in The Great Gatsby and with Faye Dunaway in 3 Days of the Condor, as well as appearing in All the President's Men, a morality play featuring him and Dustin Hoffman, portraying reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. Many believe Robert Redford's most significant work to be Ordinary People. With this famous work, which he used to demonstrate his more than just movie star value, he won an though it didn't feel like it. His directing debut was stars Mary Tyler Moore, Timothy Hutton, and Donald Southern. The drama depicts a family fractured by loss and grief. Around this period, Redford won his first Academy Award for Best Director for this work. Established the Sundance Institute to assist and encourage diverse independent filmmakers in various capacities, the Sundance Film Festival then turned into a venue for public viewing and promotion of these creations. The award-winning actor picked just a handful of parts in the 1980s. Along with experimenting in romance, he starred in the baseball drama, The Natural with Glenn Close and Robert D. Ball. More, Beanfield War, Redford's second film, starred Sonia Braga and Reuben Blade. The film centers on a group of nearby farmers battling a sizable development project in their vicinity. This reminds us of his passion of the surroundings, which enabled him to perform better. Redford also got compliments for his Tom Hanks-starred rural family drama, A River Runs Through It. In Scarlett and Brad Pitt, he investigated the dishonesty of 1950s game shows and quiz programs. Despite saying he disliked sexual scenes, he received 2 more Oscar nominations for Best Picture and Directing. He produced a few of one's pickier about the films he works on, high-profile roles in sexually charged films such as Indecent Proposal in 1993, following the legend of Bogger Vance in the 2000s. He directed and starred in the political drama Lion for Lambs with Tom Cruise and Meryl Streep. But the film struggled greatly. Though he felt his performance in the film fell short, it motivated him to improve. His next film, The Conspirator, did well. It centers on Mary Surratt's trial. She is the only woman accused of murder of President Abraham Lincoln. He directed and performed in the company the next year. You feature radical 1960s underground living of stars Shia LaBeouf and Julie Christie, who were hidden until a reporter discovered them. Redford performed admissively, in all is lost. 2013, portraying a sailor in peril. Following Marvel Comics' Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014, he dabbled in Bill Bryson's A Walk in the Woods. Over the years, this man has earned numerous accolades for his imaginative writing and superb acting. Redford is among the few actors who have been around for ages. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences bestowed upon him an honorary award in 2001 for motivating independent and creative directors all around. 2016 saw President Obama award him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Ben, what then is this shocking, fresh information about Robert Redford? It's entire. Over the past few years, this man has gone through a lot. It's incredible how he returned to be a superb actor and director. Let us straightforwardly start it. 2 months after birth, Redford wants a first son. Fortunately, 3 years later, his wife Lola adopted him. But then their wife's life was also under risk, and they feared they would lose their second child, born prematurely with the same illness that killed John F. Kennedy's second son, David James Redford. Redford's second child, James, was diagnosed with hyena membrane disease, and Patrick, the infant, had a 40% chance of survival. The Oscar winner spoke on his early years as a family man. Although others find it simple for him, he said that having problems with your children is the toughest thing one can go through in the world. I agree with him. Though not all of these are secrets today, he also alluded to many other things he wanted to keep secret for the welfare of his family. James Redford lived through newborn death, but he passed away at age 58 from bile duct cancer in his liver. Earlier on Twitter, his sad wife revealed this. James treated his liver disease, but 2 years later, the illness resurfaced. October 2020 saw his death while he was awaiting a liver transplant. James was as environmentally driven as his father was. The director also gave science and education top attention. Based on his experience getting 2 liver transplants from strangers, his 1999 documentary, The Kindness of Strangers, dedicated the work to them, as any other father would have done. Robert Redford did not treat his son's passing lightly. It was yet another severe blow at an advanced age. Although he said nothing about it personally, his publicist Cindy Berger claimed that the Hollywood actor was experiencing loss and that it was more difficult for him, since his son with Cindy said that his legacy lives on through his children's artwork, movies, and environmental protection. Passion, which helps to offset his unbearable sorrow. She asked that his family be allowed time alone. Redford hasn't been himself since James passed away. Meantime, he might have lost his sons, but he is used in grieving. 2018 saw him honor his dear mother, Martha Redford, who passed away from a hemorrhage at 40 years old, connected to a blood condition she acquired during the stillbirth of her twin daughters. A Hollywood actor claimed that his life changed with the death of his mother. She had been his rock from birth and was indeed right. She sadly did not live to witness her faith pay off. Her son debuted acting 5 years after her passing. At the event, Robert sung praises for his mother's adventurous attitude, smile, and positive outlook, even in trying circumstances. His loss does not stop here. He lost his uncle, who reared him as his father. The actor's real dad, Charles Redford, paid him less attention, but he grew close with his Uncle David. Like a father, Uncle David was friendly and lighthearted. He was also a football player, speaking many languages. He brought young Robert to drill several football moves. Uncle David joined the Army to serve in World War II and sadly never returned home. He passed away in an automobile accident while crossing a Luxembourg bridge only a few years ago. They had no choice. His family moved on after learning the horrible news. Redford has also participated in disagreements in his wild love life, forced him to divorce his longtime mate. He suffered also from the divorce. Let us review this aspect of his life. Robert and Lola had among the most solid marriages in Hollywood in the middle of the 1980s. Though many people praised it, under all it was quite unstable. Robert met Lola while she was a University of Colorado student, and they started right away in love. Redford concentrated on acting. Lola studied environmental activism and history, and art and theater. They fell in love straight away because of their common passion of the surroundings and art. They married in 1958, But Redford's popularity changed things a few years later. The work and attention paid for him, more roles and more time away from his family. Lola was depressed and lonely while he was gone. The couple struggled to manage their life since they had 4 children to raise. The 1970s saw things go wrong when Lola's cultural values and expectations changed her more and more dissatisfied with the setup. Although we have heard that their divorce may have resulted from cheating, Redford's story is still patchy. Though Lola has not said anything regarding it, there were rumors of cheating on both sides. Talking about this topic should be done carefully since Redford has never publicly acknowledged to have cheated on Van Wegen, and the couple has always maintained a private, personal life. This is a result of the demands of celebrity as well as accompanying changes. Redford divorced Lola in 1985 following almost 30 years of marriage since public marriage can strain a relationship. Their explanations were straightforward. They claimed they drifted apart over time, heading in different directions, and unable to find a midway ground. Their priorities altered as well, which made it difficult for a couple to remain together. Following their divorce, Robert Redford and Lola Van Wegen pursued their own personal interests and vocations. Redford developed into a successful Hollywood all-around actor, and Lola rose to be a well-known environmentalist and educator. Lola still upholds women's rights and sustainability as priorities. The two remained friends, but Redford wed Sybil Zagers in 2009. A tweet titled, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid actor dies, began rumors in 2015 about the 79-year-old actor's death following a fall off a Santa Monica, California golf buggy. The bogus news went viral right away, and tributes started to flow in. Fortunately, his publicist verified that the actor was still alive and declared the rumor a hoax. Redford has also been claimed to risk skin cancer, a falsehood. Fans believe he had skin cancer in the scene where he flaunted his body in Good Will Hunting, since he had many moles on his neck and back. But they've been there since he was a young child. Not much has been heard about him in 2024. His slow retreat from the public due to age issues has gone under little notice. The Academy Award winner left acting in 2018. He informed CBS News that his involvement in his last film was The Old Man and the Gun. He claimed to be retiring since he was getting old, and since he had been performing since he was 21 years old, thus, he needed a break. 1 month later, though, he declared that his acting retirement was not definitive. He claimed that he should have kept silent about the announcement, since it was a mistake. Surprisingly, he came back to an already existing position a year later and also mentioned the comedy film Omniboo, A Fast Boat Fantasia. This implies he is not leaving anytime soon and will most likely retire when his health fails totally. Albert Redford is healthy for now, except from a childhood polio episode.